Hey Bhavjot, thanks a lot for joining us at the Knowledge Series. Super happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me over, Jibin. It's always a pleasure to speak with you.
Absolutely. So before we start, maybe if you can give a quick brief intro about yourself and Clinikk, that'd be great.
Sure. So I'm Bhavjot. I graduated from IIT Roorkee in 2012 in geosciences, and I worked with the Royal Dutch Shell Post that for 4.5 years as a geoscientist, post which I started clinic with Dr. Suraj. So about clinic, what we are trying to do here is solve for the 600 million people who don't have access to primary healthcare and health insurance. So we are the first point of contact and we provide them 24/7 access to a doctor in their own language, access to a health assistant in their own language. And if they're based out of Bangalore, they can also visit our centers free of cost. And we also provide our subscribers first time in the country option to pay health insurance monthly.
Got it.
So that's essentially what we are trying to do, bringing the lower middle class contract workforce into the umbrella of financial protection and good quality healthcare.
Awesome. Got it. So maybe if we go back a little bit, the starting of your journey, I've been super fascinated by reading your journey. You've been a geoscientist and then deciding to start up. How has that journey been? And also, I know that you are a certified cabin diver as well, which is also super interesting. So, how has that whole journey been, and how did you end up starting up Clinikk in the first place?
If anybody is not familiar with geology, it's one of the most interesting sciences that anybody can ever read.
Okay.
Understanding and learning about the millions of years that our earth has gone to,
Yeah.
to actually evolve life is supremely fascinating.
Right.
So, in as a geologist, my work was essentially to study and explore for oil and gas, and also learn about the Earth's processes, etc.
Right.
So, for me, the reason behind starting clinic was very personal.
Right.
Uh, I come from a very small town in Assam, and we don't even have a doctor beyond MBBS.
Right.
So when my father was diagnosed with diabetes, we didn't even know how to take care of it, how to proactively, take care of his medical problem, etc. And because of that, he developed a renal failure, which was not even diagnosed.
Right.
We only got to know about the renal failure when it was like really, really bad, and he needed a transplant. So the family had to run from pillar to post. There was no health insurance to help with the finances. From Assam, he was brought to Chennai, where he was stationed for like 8 months to get the treatment. And at the end of the day, we couldn't even save him. So the experience that I went through, right, is really horrible. That due to a lack of something as simple as primary care, somebody is losing their father, or the person who's the sole bread earner. This is not just me. I mean, unfortunately, this is like story of millions of Indians out there, right? So
Right.
for me, it was important to solve for the most basic need of human life, and that is healthcare.
Right.
So that's how we started Clinic.
Right.
So my co-founder, he's Dr. Suraj. He comes from medical background.
Right.
So he's an orthopedic surgeon, and he brings with him domain expertise in healthcare.
Right.
And it was prudent for us to start together and building Clinic to solve for 600 million Indians who don't have quality healthcare experience even in today's modern age.
Right. So, to add on to that point, or to how did you find your co-founder? How did you find Suraj? What was the story behind that? When did you guys first meet, and how was that, uh, you know, that journey?
So Suraj and I were working together in election campaign in 2014.
Okay.
So that's how I know him.
Okay.
So I was working as a strategist for a candidate in Bangalore South, and he was working for a candidate in Bangalore Central,
Interesting. Okay.
and that's essentially how we met.
Okay, got it. And how big is your team at this point in time?
So currently we are close to around 43 full-time employees.
Okay. And I have one add-on question to that. Who was your first key hire in your company, and at what stage did you decide to bring this person on board?
Mm, Our first key hire was essentially uh, the first founding engineer that we hired,
Okay,
and that was just like maybe a few months after we started the company because we didn't have the expertise in technical knowledge, etc.
right. Got it. Speaking about the how does the future for Clinic look like? What are the growth plans that you have in place for the next foreseeable future?
So, Clinic over the last few months has done uh, really well, and we have been able to forefront in this COVID crisis and serve and impact as many lives as possible.
Right,
Today, we are serving more than 350,000 lives,
right.
and we would want to hit at least 1 million lives in next 1 year. That's the target that we have, and we are well on target to achieve it.
Got it. So with respect to partnerships, are there any specific partnerships that you're looking at? It could be an organization or a person, but are there specific partnerships that you're looking at this point in time?
So, we would love to partner with organizations who work with contract workforce to enable them to give these contract workforce access to very cheap, affordable, quality healthcare. So, that's the kind of partnerships we are looking for. Any organization which hires contract workforce is of interest in partnership and alliance to us to work together to improve lives of their contractors and workforce.
Got it. Who are the key contract or the partners that you're currently working with? Can you name a few of them? Um,
So currently, we are working with organizations like Hero Motorcorp,
right,
Ola, Shadowfax, then we have
right,
Rebel Foods, Blowhorn, Let's Transport. So currently, we have around more than 28 organizations that we work with.
right.
So these are just to name a few.
Got it. And with respect to fundraising, have you raised any funds so far? Who are all the investors? How does that journey? How was that journey?
Raising funds was just a byproduct of providing the right product to the right people.
Right,
So we raised our first seed round last year.
right,
Uh, we raised $1 million from Times Internet, Rajan Anandan, WH Ventures, and we also did a small advisory round, which will force you to get senior advisors in this year. And we are currently in advanced talks to raise a Series A investment.
got it. Awesome. So before we come to the end of our first segment, I have a couple more questions for you. The first one is: are there any companies that you wish you co-founded?
Postman,
Okay, interesting. Which is your favorite book?
uh, I like Lord of the Rings.
Okay,
That's
cool.
my favorite book ever.
Okay, I've seen you reading Hobbit in one of your pictures when I was doing the photo walk
I'm a,
research as well.
I'm a big Tolkien guy.
Okay, got it. We almost come to the end of our first segment, but before we break, I've seen you're interested in offbeat travels and diving and everything. So how does that interest? How did that come into, or how do you find time to actually go about doing all this?
Now, honestly, I don't find as much time as I would do earlier.
Right,
But essentially, when you are a geologist, right, you grow in outcrops. Your work is not inside the office. You're essentially out there studying different strata of this earth,
right,
studying different rocks, studying different landscapes, uh, and just getting to learn more about evolution, right? So
right,
that's how the whole travel bug bit me because you had to travel for work.
right.
So I intend to continue learning about nature and planet Earth even with running clinic, because you can never take out the geologist from me.
Right.
So yeah, you have to find time for it. So this year also, I'm hoping that after working really hard for the next 4 5 months, I will be able to take a small break
Right.
where I'm able to maybe just isolate myself with nature for a while.
So the getting the certification part for diving was also a part of your passion and not just
Yes.
because
It
of
was both
work, right?
passion and no, it was not because of work, but
Yeah.
I definitely wanted to study the underwater caves
Okay.
and see how they look, because you have always seen like the caves out there. You have seen those nice
Right.
stalactites and stalagmites in beautiful caves. If you guys have been to Meghalaya, they do have some in India itself. You have like beautiful caves out there in Meghalaya where you can go and you can explore.
Right.
But if you talk about the underwater cavern system, it was the the biggest extensive cavern system exists in Mexico.
Okay.
So for me, it was like I have to go to Mexico. I have to get my certifications, whatever are necessary to get into open diving and understanding and learning cave and diving, so that I can go underwater and explore underwater caves. And also, there is so much of mine history which is there in those underwater, caves.
Right.
They essentially used to pray in those caves. So they used to make a lot of sacrifices, animal sacrifices, gold ornaments, whatever was their offering to gods, right? Their Mayan gods, they would give in those caverns. So there's a lot of relics, fossils, etc. down there, which which are of premium interest. So I definitely didn't want to lose out on the opportunity to see that wonder of the world. So yeah, but we'll
Awesome.
have that was exactly how I went into underwater cave diving, and
Awesome.
I miss
Amazing.
it. I hope I'm able to do it again soon.
Absolutely. So with that, we come to the end of this segment, and our next segment is a photo work segment where we have a couple of pictures of you. It'd be great, when if we can go through those pictures and share the memory behind that. That'd be great.
Sure, sure.
So here is our first picture.
Yeah, it's a very fond memory with this picture. So essentially, this place is Iraq. This is,
Okay.
in fact, the border of Iran and Iraq, which was a war zone for a very, very long time.
Right.
So, with my first project at Shell, I was placed in Iraq for a while, where I was the only woman in the camp, by the way, which was very interesting. Everybody was very respectful and nice.
Right.
Uh, so this area was a war zone. So any road that they would lay, or any thing that would happen, would be first with the clearance of the team, which is called ERW, which removes the remnants of wars. So
Right.
this whole place is covered with mines. So there would be a remnant of wars team which would go and clear the roads, and only then you would be able to drive on top of it or walk on top of it. So you're not supposed to deviate from the route and take any other route except for the one which is cleared of mines. So it's as simple as, if you deviate, you are into the mines. So you're like surrounded by mines.
Super interesting.
So that was the kind of experience it was. And of course, it was a great learning experience because it was the first drilling of oil after the war in Iraq.
Okay.
And this was a huge opportunity for economic up rising of that area. So that was something which I'm extremely proud of. Yeah.
Awesome. And here is our next picture.
Yeah, so this is my uncle's Harley Davidson,
Right.
which I borrowed in Ohio. So I took this nice ride, like in his Harley around the neighborhood, and then we went on a bike trip later. So this was me when I was starting to practice Harley. It's a beautiful machine. If anybody
Awesome.
wants to get their hands on it, it's beautiful. This one is a fat boy.
Awesome. And here is the third one.
So yeah, this is the most special memory of all. The first ever office that we built in for Clinic.
Right.
This we still have this office. It's on the ground floor, first floor of the office that we currently are in,
Okay.
and we had built this nice this blue color is a logo color. Same goes for orange. It's not very well tinted here, but we remember putting all these blocks together ourselves to make this wall look fancy.
Awesome.
And I still remember there was quite a bit of expense that we incurred for this. For that time, it was like around 3 4 thousand bucks, but we were like, oh my god, ये बहुत महंगा
Right.
है.
Cool.
Yeah.
And this is the next one.
Okay. So this is when we have just started. And like the journalist had come up to me to understand why we started Clinic, and as I mentioned, it was mostly because of the personal experience that
Right.
I was going through, or I had gone through. What is interesting here is again, as we had noted earlier, the Bootstrap company has around 250 subscriptions in 1,000 cities. We're still not in 1,000 cities yet,
Right.
and I don't know how many years will it take us to be in 1,000 cities.
Right.
Or
Right.
maybe we wouldn't want to be in 1,000 cities at all.
Right.
And 250 subscriptions is like too less. Maybe, like in our 200 meters of the office area, we'll have around 250 subscribers.
Right. Awesome. So here is the next one.
Yes, this was very interesting. So we were part of a very special program by Google, which is called Google Launchpad Build. Brilliant
Right.
program for women, where I met some amazing women co-founders.
Right.
They helped us with understanding the entire technology stack of the company and growing the product.
Right.
So yeah, um, and I think Sonam Kapoor retweeted it. I don't know if she fully understood the context of it though, but yeah, that's about it. We were happy
Okay.
that she retweeted, and I retweeted it.
Okay. And here is the next one.
So yeah, so he's Suraj, Dr. Suraj. He's my co-founder and now even a life partner.
Okay.
So we ended up marrying each other. When you're spending so much time, you'd rather be married. so, so yeah, that's about it. So he's a doctor, orthopedic surgeon by profession, who left his career behind to start a clinic with me.
Awesome. Okay. And here is the last one.
This is our wonderful, amazing team. A few of them have now there are a few more faces who have been added here.
Right.
And this was pre-COVID time when we could just
Right. No social
come
distancing.
closer for a picture. There was no social distancing
Right.
concept, and I don't know when we could have this picture again next. Similar, something similar. They
Right.
are all amazing people. They are all inspired the making a change in healthcare because of whatever stories that they have had or whatever learnings that they have had in their own lives.
Right.
And I think the most biggest asset that Clinic has is the love that people have in in the team for each other. And
Right.
I think we are blessed that way.
Awesome. So with that, we come to the end of that segment, and our final segment is a rapid fire segment. We have a couple of questions for you. You can take 5-10 seconds to answer that. Nothing serious. Um, so the first one is describe your startup in 2 words.
Valuable and quality. Like
Got it. Okay. If you could trade lives with one entrepreneur for a day, who would it be and why?
I would love to live the life of Vijay Shekhar Sharma for a day to
Okay.
understand how he handles the scale of things.
Okay. Awesome. And how old would you be if you had to stay one age forever?
I think I would be 30,
Okay.
as always.
Okay. Uh, what do you think I'd be most surprised to find out about you?
That I can cook really, really well.
Okay. Your best memory associated with Clinic.
When the first time one of our subscribers visited our office to thank us for the amazing job that we were doing. So when he visited us, when he came down and brought his family to kind of say a thank you.
Oh, okay. Cool. So with that, we come to the end of that segment. But before we break, we have a small ask for you. If you could recommend one founder, to Knowledge Series that you would love to see a chat like this. If you can give an intro, nothing like it, but if you can, recommend one founder uh, that you would love to see a chat like this.
Uh, I have many interesting founders that you can speak to, but if I have to pick one person that I think you should definitely speak to, I would say Sai.
Okay.
Sai Gole
Okay.
from Bharat Agri.
Got it. And I would love to pick your brain on the other names as well offline. But thanks a lot for thanks a lot for that recommendation. We'd definitely love to speak with him. So
No
with
worries.
that, we come to the end of that segment. Bhavjot, it has been an absolute pleasure hosting you. Thanks a lot for
It was
being with
fun.
us.
It was fun. Thank you so much. It was such a relief from daily work. So thanks a lot.
Thanks to you.